In this video, we are going to talk about how to create a funnel report in Kissmetrics. Our funnel report is one of our most used reports. It shows defined steps in the user journey and conversion rates between the steps. To create your funnel report, first navigate to Reports. On the Reports page, click on Funnel Reports. Once you reach the Funnel Report preview page, go ahead and click on Create Funnel Report button. Now you'll work with a report builder to define your funnel steps. Add your first funnel step. You'll define your first step according to the data you send to Kissmetrics. Our data model is simple. It consists of events, actions of your users, and properties, additional data fields that help describe the action/event or users. Go ahead and click the drop-down to select what data you'll use to define this step. You define the funnel step by whether the people you want to track do or do not have specific events or properties. You can see that you can choose has or has not done an event, or does not have a certain property. From there, depending on what you selected, you will be asked to specify the name of the event or property. Here you see that we're defining this step by people who have done a specific event. The next drop-down focuses on the frequency of the event/action. You can pick whether the event happened at least a certain number of times, at most a certain number of times, exactly a certain number of times, or whether this is the first time they've done the event ever. Then you define the frequency by specifying the number of times they've done the event. Now you have two options. If you're done defining your step, go ahead and click Add a Step or click out of the Step Builder. If you need to better define your step, you can add more events or conditions. One powerful way to add a layer of further definition is to click on the arrow next to your base condition and add the property that comes with the event you selected. For example, perhaps you want to specify the city that the people came from, or the category of the products that people looked at, or the subscription plan. Adding this layer of definition allows a very specific funnel definition, which is one of the key features of the report. We learned how to add the definition layer. Now, let's learn how to add more depth. To add depth, you can nest an additional condition under a defined step. To do that, click on this button at the far right of your condition builder. Here is where you can define a step where your users have either done event A or event B. This is very powerful if you have two similar, but not identical, events in a funnel step. The opposite of or would be and. Instead of reporting on everyone who has done event A or event B, adding the and here only reports on everyone who has done event A and event B. You should note that for any of these nested conditions, you can also add a definition layer of property. You are not limited to only having two nested conditions. Clicking on this plus sign allows you to create more. Please note that setting the comparison operator remains consistent across all the nested conditions. In other words, if you set the or operator, the next one is going to be or as well. The same rule applies to the and operator. If you need to delete any of the created conditions, click the delete button as shown on the screen. Now we've learned how to create and deepen your conditions in the funnel report. Where do we go from there? Once you are done defining and refining your steps, you need to set the date range for your final results. To do this, click on this drop-down. You can select either a fixed or a rolling date range. Now that we are all clear on adding the date range, let's build our example funnel report. In this report, we'll look at the people who visited from a paid campaign and see how they progressed to buying a paid subscription. Let's define the first step. For the first step, we need to pull the people who visited from our paid campaign. It will be an event. In Kissmetrics, all the paid campaign data is stored under the Add Campaign Hit event, so this is the event we'll select. Once we set the event frequency of at least one paid campaign hit, we will proceed to adding the second step. By the way, if you want to switch the order of any steps, click on the step number and drag and drop it to the place you like. Now, let's add our second step. For that, we want to see the rate at which those ad campaign visitors signed up for trials. To find this out, we will select the trial sign-up event, and again make the frequency at least one time. We just need to add one more event. As our main conversion event, we'll choose paid sign-up, and that they did it at least one time. Now that you've defined your funnel steps, adjust the date range and hit Run Report. Your report results are going to display as bar charts, which you can hover over to further click and view the people in a specific step. You can drill down on the people who exited in the previous step, which is a great way to investigate why they didn't make it all the way to conversion. You can also see the conversion rates between the steps, as well as the overall conversion of this funnel. You can also compare your funnel stats to your overall traffic for the date range that you have set in the report. To do that, click on this button. The overall statistics will show up in gray, on top of your main funnel stats. Here you can see how many total people did a trial sign-up in the last 7 days regardless of whether they came from an ad campaign or not. The bottom statistic only shows the people who came through an ad campaign, the event you defined in your funnel conditions. If you want to remove the overall view, click on this button again. Now that we're familiar with the main view, let's add some juice to our analysis by segmenting by properties. Let's look at the different paid sources and their different conversion rates. To segment by paid sources, select the campaign source property from the list. And here is what we get as a result. Now you can see how each particular source performed. This will include showing the updated number of people under each bar, as well as the conversion rate in between the steps, and the overall conversion rate for that segment. Looks pretty nifty, right? Now imagine these results amplified with adding layers and depth. I am sure it sounds exciting. So, there you have it, an overview of the beauty of our funnel report. If you'd like to recheck this data again in the future, make sure to name and save your report. We hope you enjoyed this example and tutorial. Should you have any questions, please feel free to shoot us a message via help@kissmetrics.io. Thanks for watching and keep funneling.